All right, we are live, guys. Welcome to the
Woohoo!
first episode of this season's Backbenchers Podcast. Already the first muck-up. Here we go, nice and live. Hey, guys, welcome back. We're super excited. Got a good group here. We're really excited for this season that's coming up with Canberra. It's going to be a super fun season. Today, we're going to be talking through the first 10 players that have been announced, talk through what we think, give our opinions, and we got some really cool people on the pod. Obviously, you may be you may have watched the previous podcast and be like, who are these people? My name is Marcus. If you don't know me, I'm a pretty famous guy, so I assume every single person in the world knows me. But there's two way more impressive people that are here that I'm ready to introduce. We got Deli. Say hello, Deli.
Hello, welcome. Woohoo!
And we got the amazingly dressed Jordo on the other side. How are we going, Jordo?
Yo, I'm good. I'm dressed for the premiere. We didn't get a red carpet, so I got blue glitter instead.
Yes.
We've already got our first comment with what a hot panel. Thank you, Aston. Thank you.
Aston.
Yes.
Aston.
Yes.
This is good. I'm loving these. I love these comments. Feel free to give your comments, guys. We're going to be reacting to them as we go. We see James Wolf there. We're back. We are back, James, and we're going to be here pumping these out. It's going to be super awesome. So
very
super excited, guys.
Muddy. Yep, very sunny day.
Firstly, guys, how is everyone feeling about the upcoming season? We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about, but how are we feeling about it?
I'm excited. If it's anything like season 2, it's going to be great.
It's just this community and, what they get to do is just so much fun. We've been waiting a while, and so it's so awesome to have it back. Excited for a new theme. And, this cast already that we get to talk about today is going to be absolutely awesome. So, super excited.
Can we just stop there? Lauren said I'm underdressed. Should I take my clothes off? Is that what they want?
I think you look stunning, Jordan.
Maybe just or be in the bus. I don't know. You guys choose. You're the ones watching. Anyway, back to you, Marcus.
But yes, I definitely think the theme is really exciting. It leads to a lot of possibilities, and so the way today's podcast is going to work, guys, the people that are tuning in, we're going to kind of run through the first 10 that have been introduced. We're going to give our thoughts. I'm going to ask these guys some questions, and they're going to give their thoughts and opinions on everything that's going down. Are we ready to get into it, guys?
Woo!
Yes, so ready.
All right, so first up was the first guy introduced was a lovely man named Ed. He's representing Canberra. He's our first Canberra representative, a 29-year-old high school teacher.
There he is over there.
Jordan, he says, the first thing that I remember him saying is that he loves attention. But talk to me about that. What are your thoughts on Jordan? What are your thoughts on the fact that he loves attention? And do you think that's a good thing going into the game?
Well, first of all, my ADHD brain is just going to keep talking. So forgive me if anything comes out that is offensive, especially to Mr. Ed, who wasn't a horse. So I was very upset about that. And he's actually a human. Look, there's always got to be one good-looking person on a tribe, right? He's him. That's him. So, he's already got the attention from me. However, he does use his hands quite a lot in his interviews. So let's see how he is with everything else.
Yeah, I agree. So Deli, my favorite quote from his video is when he said, "My friends describe me as a puppy dog. I get really excited and crash out quickly." Like, what are your thoughts on this? And do you think that's something that will affect him long term as the game goes on? Because it is a pretty mentally taxing game. What are your thoughts on that?
Like my first comment or note straight away was like golden retriever vibes. Like, he is out there, being lovely, bubbly. And I think, my thing was that he also gives me like Jaden from Aussie, like Survivor, like Titans versus Rebels. So, big kind of like physical threat, big presence, but just out there to have fun and maybe more thinking like emotionally rather than strategically, like throughout. So I think he's just going to be there having fun with it. He might, run around a lot, maybe be a little bit silly, trying to find idols. But I think he's just out there to have a good time.
Yeah, I reckon he'll be a physical threat. So, I reckon if he'll probably go early if he's too good physically. He seems like he'll he already thinks he's Usain Bolt beating all the younger kids in races. So I reckon he'll be the physical threat of the tribe and of the season. So he sort of might need to back it back a bit if that's the case to last longer.
Yeah, 100%. I find it very interesting. Obviously, we've had to watch a lot of videos, so correct me, I might be wrong here, but I remember him saying that he kind of thinks that people are going to kind of not take him super seriously, and I didn't really get that vibe from him. He's definitely a large, strong-looking dude. He seems like a confident guy. I don't really see him as someone that people are going to just ignore. I definitely see him as an instant. If I was playing with him, I'd straight away be like, this guy is a massive threat. Do you think early on is going to be where he's going to struggle, or do you think do you see him going far, or where do you guys see him kind of, if you had to predict?
Like I said, it depends on like how physical he is. Like I reckon he'd be like friendly with everyone and they get along with him, but then the test will come as to see how good he is physically. And if he's starting to beat everyone like Nick did in season 2, then, as soon as they can, they'll get rid of him. So whether he's, friendly or not, I don't think people will sort of overlook him. He'll definitely have a presence and make it known. So.
Yeah. What does everyone think about, obviously, high school teacher? You're dealing with a lot of kids, you're dealing with different personalities, you're dealing with kids lying. I've worked in after school cares. I know that kids can be crazy and they're very different. Do you think that's going to help him, Deli, handling different personalities, dealing with stress, dealing with emotions, and being able to process that overall as the game gets heavier as it goes on?
I don't know. Like, I work with kids, and I think this is just such a different thing than being a teacher. And, it's like you're working with people for a very short amount of time, but you have to be connected very quickly. So I'm interested to see how he can probably use his bubbly personality, and also the fact that he will probably be good in challenges. I think he'll be picked quickly depending on what type of challenges they put in. But I feel the same as kind of Jaden, like, that's the vibe that I get of, being there to help out. But I'll be interested to see if he's able to kind of then take that side of being, able to do certain things and then turn that into a real alliance and strategy moving forward.
100%. 100%. Also, guys, if we've shown a few comments. If you have any questions for the panel, feel free to chuck them in. But yeah, Ed says that he used to work at T2, so he knows all about tea. Hopefully, he brings some spicy tea to the Canberra community, and hopefully he can bring the heat. And I'm really excited to see how he goes. I think as we all are.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
But anyway, so let's keep the ball rolling. Let's keep the ball rolling. We got. I'll be honest. I'm god awful at pronouncing names. Squin is what she said. So let's go through her. 36-year-old occupational therapist, but something that really excited me was an MBL1 commentator. That's pretty crazy. First thing I want to say before anything is, it'd feel almost criminal if we didn't shout out the Shooting the Breeze podcast that she runs. If anyone's into basketball, into supporting particularly female basketball, I've checked it out today a little bit and it sounded really cool. I definitely will be adding it to the list. So if anyone's interested in that kind of stuff, definitely check her out. Deli, the one thing that I definitely pulled from her video is that she said she was loyal, and that she, and she particularly said that, she warned kind of people that if you betray her, that's dead. How do you react to that? And do you think that is a bad trait, a good trait? Because it can kind of go many ways as the game goes. You kind of need to be flexible.
Yeah, I think it's great at the beginning to be able to find the people that you trust. And because very, very quickly in this style of game, you have to make those decisions for, you're only getting like a couple of hours until your first kind of vote out in versus tribal council. So you want to be able to make really good decisions early on who you can go with. And I don't think that she's much of a flip-flopper. So I think if she finds her people early on, then I think that will work well in her favor. But I feel like if she potentially doesn't find those alliances, then maybe it might be quite tricky for her to, kind of find people as she goes along. But yeah, talking about like Shooting the Breeze and also like her following, she has had so many views all over everything. Like she's had thousands of views over like from her video on like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So that following is really rooting for her to go far in this game, which is super awesome.
It'll be interesting. She said she like sometimes says stuff before thinking. So I reckon she'll be one of them get straight to the point, and it's either going to make or break it. People are going to love it because she's honest, or they're going to hate it because she's honest. So
I love that. Shorto, do you think that like when you saw her video, did she someone that you would gravitate to? Is there someone you want to work with? Is Squin someone that you see and you're like, yeah, that's the type of player that I want to align with?
Yeah, I actually liked her. I think I wrote down here, she's one of my favorites so far out of the 10 I've seen. I don't know, just because I just loved her video. I just love how honest she was. She made me a bit emotional, to do with her dad and stuff like that. And I'm very empathetic. So she already had my heartstrings. But yeah, I think she's the kind of person that I think would be really cool to watch because of, the things that she'll, say and do. So.
Yes. That's actually the next thing I was going to talk about is I really liked her vulnerability. I felt I think in these games, because they're only, a few days, it's a weekend, it's kind of hard. If you struggle to open up to people, it can be hard to build those relationships really early on. And the fact that she was, able to be so honest and show her emotions and talk about and open up to everyone that's watching, it's really cool. And I definitely think that could be a massive advantage. Do you guys agree that that's a massive advantage, her being able to be so honest and transparent about her experiences?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. Like her story about her dad on the video just pulled at my heartstrings so much. And to, go so vulnerable on something like that right before you're about to jump into this, was true to show just how, beautiful her relationships are and how much she cares about, people close to her. But I think also that as well as she was part of this podcast in season 2. So it shows just how much she loves this community and wants to be involved into it. And I think that's that's the thing that I notice where it's she is invested in Survivor Canberra in this world. And I think that shows that she potentially goes far in this game or does really well. So I don't know. That's where the things that I see around the place.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, there's good things, good opinions here. We even got a little bit of royalty here with Ma here saying that she would work with Squin. That's a huge. That is a massive call. I love that from Ma. Always feel free to give your opinion, Ma. We love your opinion because we want to hear from winners. We want to hear what you think because obviously you've climbed the mountain and your flag is currently on there. So that's awesome to hear from Ma.
I didn't have one question about Squin though. Why is the name Squin when her name's Jacinta? I never did. She didn't say that on the video, so I'm intrigued. What's happening?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out in the episodes potentially. I'm really excited. I'm super excited to hear her story, and I think she'll also be a really good narrator. I hope that she'll I kind of could see her definitely being involved with the confessionals, getting a pretty decent edit because of background as podcaster. She should be able to tell her story pretty well, and I definitely believe if I was her, I'd be keeping that quiet that she does a podcast because I would not be going to the final with her because I think she would mop the floor with quite a few people.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. She's able to speak well, articulate well, and so that would be a dangerous person to go to the end with.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. So moving on to a man who's proven to be a slam dunk when it comes to playing this great game. We have our next Canberra representative in the amazing Andrew, the economist, is 33 years old. I have to mention the elephant in the room that he's obviously played a similar game before in Backyard Survivor. I'm not sure if you guys have seen Andrew on that. Have you guys managed to check out his game at all?
I haven't seen it. No, not yet. I'll have to go back.
No, not yet.
So just to give you a heads up and to give the fans a heads up, obviously check it out. Backyard Survivor, it's an amazing product. But Andrew was super entertaining, super himself, and honestly for me, he's one of my favorite characters to play in the community. He's going to bring a ton of energy. My first question is, seeing him play on Backyard for me, it doesn't surprise me at all that he mentioned that he loves to gamble. It can be a great thing. It could also completely block your game. And that's what I feel like Andrew played. It's I'm just going to go hard. I'm just going to roll the dice and whatever happens, happens. Do you think this style of player will fit into a Canberra Survivor season? Because it is different to Backyard. But they are the same thing, but they are different in the way they run and the way they operate.
I reckon that he might be a bit sneaky, actually, because he sort of played something similar to that. So he might be a bit sneaky and sort of act silly, even though he's not. Plus, he also uses very big words, I noticed. And he's also said he's a lemonist, and I have no idea what that is. So if it was me on his tribe, I'd be very confused by what he means. I wouldn't know what to do.
I think for me, it's like you can be a really big fan of, Survivor, but like Survivor Australia, Survivor US, like all the Survivors, it's like 30, 40, 50 days. Like for the fact that Andrew's played this game before, he understands a shorter game and what is needed to get you through. And the fact that he came fifth in that game, like he knows, the strategy well. And so it might just more be potentially the challenges that come out of this and what twists and turns, Canberra versus the world is going to pose that might end up, like turning his game. Like you just never know. Every game is different. So
yeah.
Excited
Just quickly to step back here. Obviously, Andrew wins the best outfit game from Mark. I 100% agree. He was looking stylish there. But I'll also add here a little nod from Survivor Canberra. All will be revealed in episode 1, Reece Quinn's name. So there you go, Jordan. That's your answer. Looking forward to episode 1. Well, super excited.
James also says that I don't put my real name, but my name is Jordan, short for Jordan. Jacinta and Quinn, two totally different things. Like she said, Cinta.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't have my real name here, so, sadly not putting my famous name out there.
I'll give a little inside podcast knowledge. Marcus is also not my actual first name, so there's also a little bit of inside knowledge that might be like a few of my friends' names. But also add to here, not this one, sorry. Andrew walked so George could run. That should tell you everything about Andrew. He is a extreme guy. He will go to rocks to the guys he loves. He will do a massive speech at Tribal. He is going to be a massive threat in this game. Something that I really liked from his video was that he mentioned that he's been tear gassed 3 times. So clearly it shows 2 things to me. One, he has, strong beliefs that he's willing to, go through extreme pain to stand for. And not only that, he clearly can cop a lot of pain because he managed to do it not once, not twice, but 3 separate times. What do you think that's something that's a major advantage going into such a fast-paced game?
I think that's just a crazy person, really.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Like that is just wild. Like again, you could say that it's, and that it may help, but you're not going to get tear gassed in Survivor Canberra. I really hope not. I really hope that isn't what Dan and Liv
maybe just tears. Tears in general, maybe.
But maybe it just shows determination. Obviously, he's a guy that can withstand a lot, and so obviously that's another question that Aston's shown, which I will whack up again. Well, obviously he has played. He is a fan favorite of the backyard community. Do you think there is a lot of crossover in this? Do you think that's going to be an issue he has to deal with? Is people recognizing him, and does that change the way he approaches the game?
Well, that's why I think he might not be seen as a threat as much because this is kind of different, but also he can be sneaky, and I reckon he'll sort of try and fly under the radar and be as cheeky as he can to sort of twist people around and get everyone on his side because he sort of knows how to do it. So I think it might be an advantage rather than a disadvantage. So, and people might want to align with him because they know how good he is. Do you know what I mean? So
it's a really good point.
So
it's a really good point.
I'm really not sure of how they did the casting for this season. If it was more people who know of people who know of people or, kind of blind casting. So potentially there might be a few, but even then, you have to be really solidified in this community to have known and to have seen him and have watched his game. So I think he will be able to fly under the radar for a little while anyway, until you have to show your true colors.
Yeah, 100% agree. And everybody loves opposites pairing up. And I personally, I know they're not in the same tribe, but I'd personally really like Andrew to link up with our next representative from the world. We got Bethany, a stay-at-home mum from Christchurch, 40 years old. She gives me very nurturing vibes, but then straight off, I wrote that down, and then as soon as I played the rest of the video, she then said that her enemies would call her fake and two-faced, and that stuns me. Have we seen this before? Obviously, we've had a lot of mums, older females play, but I don't think we've seen someone that has that kind of characteristics. Is that something that we're kind of keen to see? And hopefully she's keen to play a little bit of a villainous game? Because I feel like a lot of people naturally assume mums are going to be someone you can take to the end. They're going to be loyal. They're going to stick with you to it. But I don't feel like I get that fully from her. What do you guys think?
I think it would be funny. Like, she's actually like seems down to earth. So for her to have said that, I'm just like, this is going to be great, because if they see one side of her and then the other side comes out, that was so cool. It'll just bring the drama, and there was a lot of exciting drama in season 2. So I'd love to see both sides of her come out in this, because initially, I came in thinking, gosh, she's amazing. She's down to earth. She's cool. She lost me at avocados, but but then to hear that, it's just like, well, this is going to be interesting then, because she self-confessed that that's what.
I appreciate this comment right here, and it just gives me full Mean Girl vibes of like, she's a cool mom, She's a cool mom. I really wasn't thinking about the mum side at all. I was more thinking of the Kiwi side, and being a fellow Kiwi myself, I would be on the World Tribe if I was on the season. And we're a bit feisty, we're stubborn, we're happy to get stuck in wherever, and we're also quite outgoing. So I think it's more those things that we're going to see from Bethany. And she certainly was showing that during her, interview that she had. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how she, and I think playing the card of like, I've come all the way from New Zealand to compete in this is going to get her, at least through a couple of votes. But then she will really have to put some strategy in there and form some alliances to get her continuously through the game.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. It's just the next question I have. Coming from Christchurch is a very big effort, and I feel like, say when someone's coming from down the road, they could have maybe a bit more of a freedom to just go crazy. Whereas I'd understand someone coming from a really far distance, wanting to make it far, and not wanting to, playing safe. Do you think that's something that she'll do, or do you expect her to just do the opposite? Do you think, where do you see her and how she'll play?
Well, like she said, that her friend said, I reckon she'll come out and be how we saw her at the beginning of her interview. She'll be her bubbly self. She'll be cool. She'll be down to earth. But then you mess with her, you're going to see the other side. So, and I've literally written here when I was watching her video, I can't wait to see the drama unfold. So I reckon it's going to progressively happen depending on the situations through the season. So,
110%. 110%. I also just want to shout out Dakota. We played a trial this weekend. I unfortunately had to vote him out, my good friend. I love you, Dakota. Aww. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you as always. Shout out Christchurch, represent. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think she has so much potential. That's the one thing I really got from her video. There was just so many ways she could go, and I've always wanted a stay-at-home mum kind of type character to just kind of fuck up the game a little bit. So I really hope she kind of understands that she's in a really good spot and just kind of goes for it. Obviously, we don't know what the tribe dynamic is fully going to be like until we watch, but I definitely could see her. I wouldn't be surprised if she's at the end.
We've got some side eyes from the host right here. So
wow, he's in the house.
Tell us what Dan's in the house. So
that is very
we're looking side eyes at you, Dan.
No, I'd love to see her win. Actually, she'd be cool. She'd be a worthy winner already, in just from the interview and stuff we've heard from her already. So it'd be cool to see how her game plays out and see how long she lasts.
So just a quick simple answer. Do we think, if we had to guess, if she's going to play it safe because she's traveling far, or go nuts? Where do you kind of think she fits on that kind of balance? Do you think she'll go hard, or think she'll kind of play it safe early?
She'll make her presence known. May as well. You've come all this way.
That's it. Yeah. She'll go hard. She'll be there to have a good time, there to, play and get involved. I don't think she's sitting on, even though she said that she wants to sit on the bench and that it's going to be Bethany's bench, if she needs to win challenges. I think in terms of actual strategy and, getting involved in that way, before tribal councils and whatnot, she'll be, in a lot of the conversations, I think.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And, moving on to our next player, I believe this Canberra representative will have no intention of playing it safe. We're going to introduce Lauren from Canberra, 36-year-old police officer. For me, she said she wants to replicate a lot of villainous female players from the history of Survivor. Do we think a villain archetype can work in a fan-made game? Because it's not very common that is a standard practice. We had James in his season was often known as the villain, and it kind of led to his demise as soon as Merge hit. People kind of getting sick of the way that he played. Do you think that's something that's possible, or do you see it something that could lead to her struggling to get further in the game?
Nah, I reckon she'll be ruthless and she'll be a challenge beast, but also because she's hot, she knows how to swindle the criminals to get answers from them. So she'll be able to twist people around her fingers. She'll be right in there. She'll be good.
I would say there's a lot of people who class themselves as a villain for this season. Like almost half the people who we're talking about tonight have considered themselves to be villains. So I think there will be a lot of scheming and, from a lot of people. And even if all of those people get together, we're going to have like an evil set, of people, and it's going to be really exciting to watch.
I 100% agree. Police officer is such a common job in the Survivor player catalog. It's so common. It's the classic. I'm a cop from Boston. I'm a blah 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 from here. Do we think she plans to keep this quiet because obviously it's the standard? They're a cop. We have to get rid of them. Do you think that's not really that important in a fan made game? Like, if you were her, would you be telling people about it, or would you be keeping it quiet?
Good question. Well, it depends on if she wants to stay honest the whole game or tell lies. It's as simple as that. How she's chosen to play a game. If she wants to be honest, she'll tell them, and they do with it what they will. Otherwise, she keeps it from them and she's deceiving them from the beginning. It's just how she chooses to play it and which way she goes with it. So, yeah.
I think for the factor that she only found out an hour before the game that she was actually going to be playing like this season, I think, potentially all of that strategy and planning that you potentially would have done if you knew for X amount of time that you were going to be, a part of it would kind of go out the window. And in the end, you'd be like, cool, I'm just going to be adaptable. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm just going to step foot and just let the game flow. So potentially, that is going to change her game. And it'll be interesting to have that conversation with her, after we see the season, to be like, what was your plan? Had you have known, a week, a month, or longer before the game that you were going in?
Yeah, true. Yeah, because she was driving there, wasn't she? And then she's like, you're on.
That is crazy. Yeah,
we're ready to go.
I definitely agree. I definitely think, and it's interesting because it's kind of like it's a benefit because maybe it means you can kind of you don't overthink it, but maybe it's you want to kind of have a bit of a plan going in. I just want to quickly highlight, not this one, sorry. Keep but James Wolf, Lauren would be a welcome addition to the Villains Hall of Fame. That's another massive, call it to welcome him in. James is definitely the lone villain of Canberra Survivor, I'd say, and he proudly wears it with a badge of honor. So, I think it'd be awesome if Lauren added. Plus, we don't really have many female players that have that real streak to them. I'd love to see it. I definitely think that if she can stay confident, stay to what she believes, and really go hard, I could see her making a ton of moves, and I could see her really being underestimated. Where do we guys see her? Like, if we had to kind of make a prediction, where do we kind of see her ending up? Do we see her as a top pack, or do we? What's our thoughts on her based off the intro video?
Definitely a top pack. She'll be a challenge beast, and she'll sort of keep fighting for that. But but because she seems like a nice person as well, I think people sort of warm to her, and so that sort of stick with her. So it's going to be interesting to see where she goes with this.
I'd like to answer this question from James. I think being a fellow super fan of Survivor myself, I think not having that much time to prepare, if you for someone who potentially is wanting to be on the actual Survivor, which I feel like Lauren would be one of those people, you'd have dreams and aspirations of the way that it would go. And I think not having that much time to prepare would mean that you just see what happens and you just go into it with, maybe an idea, but not that like set idea of exactly what you want to do throughout the game, because everybody always has their like bucket list and their like tick off items. Like, I want to find an idol, I want to win a like, an immunity challenge. I want to get to the merge. And so potentially if you had no idea that you were going into it, and then it's like, yep, it's your time, you can just see what happens, and you're kind of wanting to hit those goals, but if not, then it was okay because you originally weren't going to be in it in the first place. So
yeah, I 100% agree. Well, Lauren, in my opinion, potentially, there might be a murder mystery on her hands if the game goes the way our next representative, Jay, wants it to play out. Jay is representing the world from Brisbane. He's a project manager at 31 years old. The first thing I have to talk about is, and I quote, "My mantra is to crush some souls." Firstly, guys, what are our thoughts on this statement and Jay in general?
Well, my funny thing about Jay is that like his facial expressions and his like body language gives nothing away. Like genuinely, when he first starts speaking, I was like, oh yeah, chill guy. Like my first, like kind of notes were like quite chill interview, until the breaking into the caravan park and then talking about how mischievous he wanted to be. Again, criminal. Like, he wanted to break souls. And I was like, I would not pick this from this guy when he would first come up to me. And so I think that's going to be really fun, to the fact that like we've seen this interview and we're like, okay, he's ready to play, but like his whole persona and the way that he projects himself doesn't show that. So I think he'll be a silent assassin that is going to have a lot of fun, like messing around with people during this season. So
he'll have a crack at everything.
Really excited.
Yeah, he'll have a crack at everything. He may fail at certain things, I reckon, but he's going to literally like go 100% at every single challenge. I can just but I got to be honest, I got distracted listening to his video because I've got ADHD, but also because I noticed that he says or a lot. And I went back and I counted 77 times he says it in his interview video. So
wow, that's a fact.
I know. I don't know. But my goal is to get through the season as long as he gets through it and count how many times he says it through the season.
Honestly, this is so funny. All these questions are pre-written down, but it's so funny how they all link. Because I was going to say the most common word throughout his video was cheeky. Turns out it wasn't. It was Thanks, Jordan. I personally love this addition, and I really think Jay is someone that I could see coming into a game and really spicing it up. Especially with like mischievous, cheeky, all those things. That's all the vibe I got from him, and I definitely think he's someone that stands out, because often sometimes with these communities you can kind of have a lot of like-minded people, because obviously we're Survivor fans and stuff like that. I definitely think Jay kind of breaks that mold, and I'm really keen to see what he does. Let's see. Sorry, Nick Otter here has said, Jordan, we need a ranking of counts across all videos. That'll definitely, we'll make it an count, a weekly count from Jordan.
I'll do it. Everyone's interviews or just him through the game? What would you like?
Give us your thoughts, guy.
I agree with you, Marcus, because I took to him as a genuine guy and down to earth. So I actually sort of liked him from the beginning, the way he was talking and stuff. And then he brought about his grandparents, bringing them to dinner, and I'm just like, I love this guy. Like, he's got he's homely as well. So I think it's going to be cool to watch.
Yeah, Aston here with the mid-intro heel turn. That's a wrestling reference. Shout out heels. But yes, I definitely thought it was funny how just randomly he's like, oh, I broke into some place. I love the honesty though. I think
such a criminal. Can we have criminals on this show?
That's a Dan question, not a me question. That's way past my pay grade. But I definitely think he's definitely someone that'll have stories. That's what I kind of hope from him, is that he'll kind of have just bonkers. And if he goes early, I think he goes down like, he's got to come back. This guy's entertaining. And if he goes far, then it's like we're talking all stars. Wink, wink, nudge, Dan. That's my call. I'm throwing it out there early. But yeah, obviously Jay may go to prison, but he may simply just have a week's suspension if we bump into our next representative from Canberra, Todd, the deputy principal, 34 years old.
Yes.
From Canberra.
Guys, the daddy.
Todd has made it clear that he intends to lie about his work, as he feels strategic leaders will be targeted in this game. Is that a smart move?
He's deceiving from the beginning. That's the one thing about that too. You're a liar from the beginning. How dare you? But it's also good. It could help him. But I don't know why it would matter though. Like, it's still working at a school. I don't think it would matter what status you are at school. Really, it's how you play your game there and then. So, yeah, but it'd be interesting to see how many lies he brings out. If that's the case. Considering
I think it's trying to, like,
Sorry,
in the end, he's going to, like, I think he's going to emerge as a natural leader without trying to be a leader. Like, again, I think he'll try to sit back and then suddenly go, nah, this is the idea. Like, this is what's going to happen. And so I think, he'll bond with the other teachers that are there. But it'll be interesting to see if he potentially uses that as, like, maybe he reveals that secret to someone and go, look, I actually want to tell you, I'm a deputy principal. So
I'm also just going to
sit down and shut up. Here's what I say.
Quickly hop in here. Shout out Sam Green. He's also a part of the podcast. You'll be seeing his beautiful face. The attractive level of this particular screen will rise significantly when Sam enters the stage. I apologize to anyone that was looking for someone to rival these two beautiful people above me. Sam will be coming soon, and I'm super excited for him. Shout out Brisbane Survivor. If you haven't checked it out, it's amazing. Sam's a part of that and he's a legend. But yeah, back onto Todd. Something else that I found really interesting is that he said he can be perceived by his enemy as arrogant. To me, that didn't really strike me as someone that had that, but obviously that's an issue in games, is that you can kind of get a bit too big for your boots, and then that leads to all of a sudden you think you're going well, and next thing you know you're on the jury. Is that something that he really has to kind of work on? Is reeling that in, or do you also see that maybe it's good to be arrogant and to?
But sometimes arrogance isn't arrogance; it's more like being direct. Like, and he's a teacher, so you direct your students. Some people just don't like people being direct, so they come, they perceive them as arrogant because they're not used to that kind of thing. So it's all how he's going to be perceived. He's going to be himself, I reckon. Whether it's direct and people think it's arrogant or not, that's the other player's issue.
Yep, 100% agree. 100%. I'm just going to quickly. What's up? He's going to tell Liv and Dan to grab a torch and take a seat. Love that. And then we also got. Could Todd beat Ed in a 100-meter sprint though?
Sadly, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah.
Not according to Ed, he won't.
My money's on it. But yeah, what's your thoughts, Daly? Any extra thoughts on Todd and where you see his game going?
I think he's going to be a great personality, and I think he's going to be very clear on like the game that he wants to play. Again, with that whole like arrogant, I think it's more that he's going to be direct and will kind of know where he wants to go. And I think he's going to be quite cheeky. I mean, that's the vibe that I get. I also want to say, we look over all the different socials, and, what I've been getting really involved in at the moment is all the memes. And big shout out to James. One of my favorite memes of the season already is Todd's meme. So here it is. And I'm just a huge, Austin Powers fan, and I just love this one of just like, I'm not gonna say I'm a primary school teacher, like not a principal at all. So yeah, this got me. Good.
See, I wouldn't drop myself down to primary school teacher. I'd be like, if I'm the principal, I'm going to be telling everyone I'm cool. Like I run this school, mate. Don't dumb yourself down. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I love that you brought this up. Shout out to James, who's been really on board with the memes. If anyone's keen, we're definitely going to be checking those out throughout the pod, sharing our best ones, shouting at anyone. So feel free to jump in board. I know James is super funny. I know he's super cool. I know everyone's scared that they're going to be challenged on the memes. Take him down, guys. Show him who's really good. I'm going to be flinging a few of mine in there. We love a Wolfie meme. 100% Sam. I'm super excited to see it. Deli's definitely going to be bringing, she's definitely going to give her opinion on memes and kind of a weekly thing, which I'm really excited to do. Todd was amazing on the season 2 podcast. That is true as well. This is a good little group. I'm loving this. It's like a graduation process. Maybe I'll be on a season in the future. You never know. Maybe season 20 of Canberra Survivor. We'll see where we go.
Yeah.
Dan, keep it going. Love is in the air as well. Yes, sorry, we're going to go back to that. This one here. Jay potentially no to a certain season 1 finalist in Feb. Ooh. Love is definitely in the air, Sam Green.
Yeah.
What are they doing on their bloody seasons, cheeky little devils?
I mean, I was going to say 2 people from season 2 are now engaged. So, this is a way to find love.
They're going to be loving season 3. Gosh.
That's it.
But yeah, I definitely, in regards to Todd's game, do you believe him when, we're going back to the arrogance, do you believe him in regards to that? Do you believe that he could be someone, could you see him getting blindsided because he's just is so confident he's got it in the bag? Or just, I don't really, to me personally, I didn't read that vibe from him, but he did say it. So in a day, I love the honesty at the same time.
No, I don't think so. I think he seems too nice to me. We did Amazing Race Canberra earlier on in the year, and I just got this nice vibe from him, and I didn't get that directness from him or arrogance from him at all. So if he is blindsided, it's because he's probably too nice to them and too trusting, to be honest. There's liars that are out there already will probably deceive him a bit, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah.
Speaking of blindsides, I have high expectations for the next person to avoid them like the plague. It's a part of her freaking job. Anthea is our next world representative. She's 47 from Mossvale and reaches avoidable blindness. She mentioned that she's recently been getting into escape rooms, and from someone who is god awful at them and kind of sandbags any team that has the terrible idea to invite me to them, I need to know, is this a good hobby to have to bring in a Survivor? Is it translatable at all? I'm not sure if you guys have done many escape rooms, but I'm not really sure. Is it translatable to the game, and do you think it'll benefit her at all?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, go Dilly.
Jordan and I bond over escape rooms. That was one of the things that brought our friendship together. I'm a huge escape room enthusiast, and so I really want to go with Anthea one day to an escape room, because we would be trying to actually beat the record. A lot of the time I'm just it's all about the fun, but with her it'd be okay, we're trying to get that record. I mean, puzzles is a huge part of a Survivor game. You can be a physical threat, but you also need to be good at puzzles. And, putting your hand up to be the puzzle person is sometimes, a really dangerous place to be. But if you can do well, you can get through a lot of things in this game with those skills and finesse. So I think that will really help her during this game.
100%.
Yeah. Agreed.
Jordan, your thoughts at all on
clues and stuff? Well, there are cryptic clues and stuff through escape rooms and stuff. And if she is likes that kind of thing, then she's going to enjoy that part of the game. Plus, also, if there's any physical stuff, she also mentioned she does CrossFit and stuff. That's one of her hobbies, amongst the many other things she does. I lost count of how many things she did, but so she's got the smarts, and she's got sort of the physicality that she could be able to get through both. So it's going to be interesting.
And it's also good that so Anthony, if you listen to this at all, I happily will allow you to replace me on the Backbenchers escape room team when we do that later in the year. I'll happily just sit in the corner and jiggle at the door. I don't even know what you do in escape rooms. I've looked
in the corner and jiggle. What are you talking about, Marcus? It's a family show.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I've been caught out. But yeah, sorry. My favorite thing in her video that she said was when the whole co-worker story saying why are you so cold? Is that the vibe we get from Anthea, and what can she do to stop that affecting her game?
Sadly, it's not wine, it's Coke. Yeah, I wish it was wine.
Unfortunately, we couldn't rep the wine, unfortunately.
No, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm technically working right now, so no wine for me.
And that is true, Nick. That is true.
Yeah.
You are a challenge piece, weren't you, darling?
Love you, Nick.
Love your little bald head, cutie pie.
But yes. Going back to this, do you think do you get cold vibes from Anthea? And if so, how does she stop that from affecting her game? Because say, for example, you go to the opposite with Squim. We kind of said it was really good that she's vulnerable. Do you think Anthea's going to struggle with that? And what can she kind of do to counteract that?
It's funny because she didn't come across that way on the video. Yeah, she did say that she doesn't like talking to strangers and stuff, but so that could be a downfall because people might not think she's able to be trusted. They can come to her and work with her and stuff like that. It might sort of set her back from everyone else and leave her on the outer. So yeah, she's going to have to sort of maybe step out of her comfort zone when it comes to that kind of thing if she wants to last, I think.
100% agree. Okay. We've had enough fun. Oh, sorry. We're going to go back to this comment here. She looks Superwoman. Yes, I 100% agree. I was kind of really surprised when she said that story. And also, sorry, let's go back to this because is there a meme that we want to show for this?
There is a meme, yes. There is a meme.
I want to shout out James.
There we go.
I'm glad you picked this one because this was also my favorite one. I really like this one a lot. And I need James to tell me. Do you have a process with this? Do you have a little 10-minute brainstorm? Does it just come to you naturally? You amazing person. This is incredible. Shout out to yet again. Look, it's the simplicity of it, and it's just funny. It's just funny.
But yeah, I think in my notes for her, it's like I think she really understands herself and like who she is. But I think this game is about, you have to really jump in pretty quick. Like you can't slowly warm up in this game because there's really not that much time. And I think because we don't have that much time to form connections in this game, that when you suddenly get to a tribal, it's just like, oh, what can we pin at? What can we, grab? And if she is being a little bit reserved, people might just grab at that early. So, I'm hoping that potentially, her tribe gets a couple of wins to start off with. So then she does have that time to just have conversations, to form connections, before the first tribal council that their team goes to. But potentially, from what I took from this interview is maybe that, if they kind of go first or second, if she hasn't opened up yet, then maybe people will find that as just a reason for, a vote off, which is really unfortunate because as soon as I watched this video, I was like, she is so damn cool. I want to go and hang out with her. I want to go do double dutch. I want to go do all those things that she, has. And we've Jordan and I have gone and done events with her, and it's so damn cool. Like she is absolutely awesome. And
yeah, she's great. And she's a fighter, beating cancer and, being so positive about it. Like she'll be fighting in the game as like she fights in real life. So, she's definitely going to just give it a go, I reckon. And, I think she's going to be cool.
Okay. We've had fun with the old farts. I need some fresh blood. I need some fresh blood in the house. And let's talk about Oscar, this 20-year-old student from Canberra. I don't know about you guys.
Look at that smile. Look at that cheeky grin right there.
Sometimes I feel like, are we all the same people? Because the first thing I said is, I don't know about you guys, but that smile, it just feels so innocent and positive and so it surprised me straight away when he wanted to play villain. It surprised me, but I love it.
That's a villain smile. Look, it's like the fake villain smile.
I love it. I'm super excited to see this guy play. Do we think? Obviously, there's a lot of people that have mentioned they want to play a villain. Do we think he has it in him to stand out amongst those villainous players?
Oh, I don't know. Like he seems like a pretty cool guy, but he did say he wants to. I reckon he could be sneaky. And because he's young and nice and seems pretty cool, that's where he could get away with being the villain, and the fact that he could be sneaky and people would sort of trust him, and just take it down to he's young and funny and But he's also an academic. He reads a lot, he said. That's all he does. So he's very smart as well. So he'll know how to play it. He'll know how to work it and work his charm when he needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I'm looking forward to some cow facts, hopefully, throughout the season. I definitely think, so obviously he's one of the younger players, Delhi. How do you think that affects his chances? Because obviously connections, often you connect with someone that you kind of relate to. He is quite young in comparison to the other players we've seen so far. Do you think that's an issue? Do you think that's a benefit? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
See, looking at what tribe he's going to be on to start off with, I think him and Ed are just going to come together and just be this like bubbly duo who will kind of just take the physical like through at the beginning. Like they're going to be like two, kind of challenge threats to start off with. I'm very curious to see how his connections are going to grow with different people. Like he has watched a lot of Survivor. So, and pretty recent, Survivor as well. So yeah, I'm very curious I haven't really been out, watching his video. I'm just interested to see how he's actually going to take that into the game is like what I'm waiting to see.
It's interesting you said about Ed because he did say he's going to be like a beast at physical challenges, which I found funny because he said all he does is read. So I'm like, well, what do you do that's going to be physical to do that? So it's funny you should say that because I also wrote down it'll be interesting to see how he goes against Ed. So
yeah, right.
I agree. I also like for me, I've watched a lot of the LRGs, and I feel like the number one issue with the younger players is I feel like an Anthea, those type of players they have a life experience and they understand weathering the storm, not jumping the gun, not going too crazy too early. And a lot of the younger players that play, when they go out, almost the first reason why they went out is because they jumped a gun and went crazy, and someone that was with them went, "Oh, this person's too crazy. I got to get rid of
it." Bull at a gate or a cow at a gate in his instance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're very happy to make, a whole bunch of risks and just be like, I'm going to cause chaos. Like, I am just going to, like, if it's not going in their favor, just to completely, like, flip 180 and be kind of like, all right, I'm going to make this, like, wild, which is really fun to watch. Like, that's, sometimes that chaos, as much as it's really, potentially frustrating when you're involved in it, is what sometimes we come to watch when we're watching live reality games or, like the actual games on TV.
Well, he did say that he's willing to do anything. So
yeah,
it'll be very interesting to see what he means by that.
Yeah, interesting. Also, quickly before we move on to the last amazing player, I just want to say to people that are in the comments, feel free to chuck in who's exciting you most out of these 10. Obviously, wait till you do the last one, but if you want to chuck in someone and why, I want to hear your thoughts, because after this, we're kind of going to quick little wrap up of everyone and kind of chat about our thoughts. So feel free to chuck that in. But moving on to our last player and saving one of the best for last, I really like this person, Maddie. Sydney, 27. I'm really keen to hear your opinions on Maddie because she gave us a lot of information. She referenced Ursula. She's afraid of bugs. She wants to be a hero. She wants to be loyal, but she seems to have a really strategic side to her as well. And she doesn't seem like someone like she has smarts. She doesn't have knowledge, and she's not just gonna be someone that you can drag to the end. So there's a lot to unpack, isn't there?
Yeah. She says she's a social player and that's one of her strengths. But then she's also said she's very loud. So that could actually get under people's skin a lot if she's a bit too much. But, she wants to be social. So she might have to tone that down a bit. But it'll be interesting to see, the dynamic if she, self-proclaimed loudness but her social game as well. It'll be quite interesting to watch.
How about you, Del?
Yeah, I think, she's a very bubbly character, like very expressive. And I think potentially, she will come out of the gate very much wanting to talk to everybody, make sure she's spoken to everybody, ensure that she's like having those conversations. But that might also, when you're potentially playing an emotional game / wanting to be involved in everything, that could also be a real struggle if you need to just sometimes play it cool. And so, I think she is going to be really fun to watch. And, but yeah, I'm interested to see where the game will go and if she can harness that energy to take with her. So.
Yeah, Maddie Ching here with Maddie, one of the best viewers yet. I actually agree. I think it's definitely up with the top 3 for me. And something else, speaking of playing it cool, I felt like if I was to pause when she said a cool villain I could have probably guessed for about a decade, and I would never have guessed Ursula.
Ursula, yeah.
Is that like, do you guys understand that? I was a little bit perplexed personally. I'd love for May to potentially explain that at some point if I ever chat with her. But do you guys understand? Do you kind of think she is? Does that give you? Does it make sense? Or for me, I was kind of a little bit perplexed.
Ursula steals Ariel's voice, and if she's as loud as she is, she's stealing everyone else's voice because she's doing all the talking and no one can get a word in. So it probably makes sense. But Ursula is it all works well, I reckon, for Maddie. Yeah, it makes sense.
I don't know. It's the people that you love to hate, like it's like Disney villains, especially. It's like you appreciate what they like as much as you might not like it. You also do appreciate it, and you kind of like want to root for them in that way. And so, if Maddie becomes Ursula, which Disney characters would everyone else be?
That's a good question. That's
I mean, personally, I think I'm Rapunzel.
I
I'm background character number 7 in the movie that flops. But yeah, that's a really good question, James. How about maybe a meme to be created for the next pod episode?
Next week, James, I'm going to come up with all the Disney characters.
There we go. I love that. We can go.
James's meme for Maddie was literally just talking about how she doesn't like bugs, and it was the like brother one where it's just like, what's that like over there? Which it's so funny because I don't know where this season got filmed at all, but like what area of Canberra it was filmed. But I'm unsure if it's in the real bush, So it's funny that that's one where she's like, oh yeah, I'm really concerned that they might be worried that I don't like bugs. And it's, in the end, it's like, it's okay. You're only out there for 2 days. Like, it's all right.
I found funny that most people are like, I'd take this person because I would have a conversation about this, or I'd take my family or my dead grandparents, etc. She's like, I'll bring the Spice Girls. I just thought it was so cool. It's like, just blurt it out. There we go. Just She's going to be like that on the show, I reckon. Just, saying what comes to her head straight away. It's going to be quite entertaining to watch.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. Like, definitely heart on her sleeve is what I kind of get the vibe from her, which is awesome. I love that. I like people that come into this game wanting to give their all, not being afraid to be themselves, and not worried about what people are going to think. I really think she gives me that vibe of like, I'm just going to be me, take it or leave it. Sky Loki, the GOAT Disney villain from Aston.
Yeah.
Aston, I'd probably agree. Is anyone what are they out there? The count and the assigning of Disney characters to the cast, you've got a huge time commitment. Yeah, Jordan's going to be, you'll see his eyes sagging by the next episode of how tired he is. He'll be going to sleep and all his brain will just be and Disney villains in his head.
That's all I'll say.
I was just going to quickly hop in and say, Dan, the host, said that I'm exciting him the most, and maybe that's a little bit of pandering because I may have blindsided him in a little trial we played last year. So I don't know if he's trying to make up for that and get some brownie points. But hey, if he wants to cast me for a season in the future, I'm open. I'm available. Hit my line, Dan. Hit my line. But anyway, let's wrap this up. So let's just. I'm just going to hit it. I want you to give me your favorite. Who's your favorite out of the 10 so far? Obviously we like all of them, but who's drawn your guys' attention the most?
Maybe Bethany or Jay. Yeah, one of those two so far. Yeah. And
why is that?
Just both of them were down to earth. Both of them were cool, and I reckon both of them could also be very sneaky and cheeky. And I just loved the interviews and things that they said throughout the interview. So, and Jay had me hooked on how many R's and hms he had. So if he makes me replay video 3 times, he's already a winner with me.
I love you, Jordan. Anyway, Delly, how about you?
So at the moment, I've got like 4 out of this 10. So Todd, Lauren, Bethany, and Andrew. I think in that kind of eclectic mix, there's, I think if they all potentially end up coming together, then it's going to be a crazy fight to the end. They drew me based on, their comments, general way that they want to play, but also just like where they come from and their backgrounds. I think is going to be really fun. And again, like props to the casting crew for the season. They did such a good job. And I'm so excited to see, the next 6 castmates revealed because it is going to be really hard to decide. Dan has put out on Survivor Canberra on all the pages that you can be part of a competition where you have to select your top 5 who you think are going to go to the end. And if you get the closest to what that top 5 is, you're going to get a prize. So that closes up just before the season starts, which is so submissions close on the 25th of September. And then it is, it's that way, 27th of September is when it comes out. So you better get watching.
Get voting. Yes. And you know what the prize is? I know what the prize is.
Ooh.
Do you?
It's a date with me.
Wow. Woo! Yes.
Wow.
There we go.
Wow. I'm on the market, guys.
Yeah.
I will. I may have.
Dan sold you out. So this is why he's been saying so many nice things to you in the comments because, he hasn't told you that you are the prize. So
I may
It all makes
revealed
sense
my
now.
M&M crush this weekend to a peer of Survivor players. Shout out the brown M&M, gets nowhere near as much love as it should get. Also, Ben, I'll be honest, you're really testing my memory here. What reveal? What am I revealing? Hopefully it's not that I'm not wearing pants right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's it. That was Jordan's
reveal
comment,
next week.
No pants party around here, so.
Yeah. I'm very confused about this reveal. If you want to tell me what this reveal is, Ben, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I'll answer the question that I asked. That was such an amazing question. How good am I? For me, the one that really vibed out to me was, it's so tough. It is so tough. I'd probably go with Anthea. And it's because I just really connected to her. She seemed like a really cool person. Bethany won the tipping comp for season 2, by the way. There we go.
What does
Who's going to be this?
I don't know what that means.
I think that's what the competition
that's our competition. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Being on this season, Ben. Okay, I am not on this season. I am not, but just so you know, guys, I am open for casting for any season. If anyone wants to hit me up,
anywhere, any live reality game,
Well, I may have applied for an American one, Delhi. So we'll see how that goes. But yes, I'm hit me up, guys. Hit me up, Sam, Dan. I don't know who else does them, but I'm available.
Kyle.
I'm available, but I'm definitely not on this season. If I'm on this season with this cast, I am first boot guaranteed. Because you've got people like Anthea, who to me is just amazing. I really connected with her, and she was someone that, like, even though we're not similar people, I feel like I'd really be able to trust her, and I could see her going really well. And if it's not, if it's not playing the cards, I could understand maybe things not going away, but I could really see I see a lot of potential in what she's doing, and she interests me. All of her information was very interesting. Does anyone else have any you'd be testing the budget by casting you, Marcus? That is true. It's about $12 a minute right now. So if I was
far out.
So if I was first boot, that'd be what, an hour? Do the maths, James. You can figure that out. I'm not smart for that. Weren't you first boot in our Survivor market? I was first boot, but I came back and won, bitches.
You end up winning the bloody thing, I know.
Won. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Keep talking to me, Soph. Who was the one that voted Soph out after she came back? That's right. Who voted Dan out? That's right. But shout out to
basically, you're just saying you're a bastard. Is that what you're saying? All the people
this is awesome. I really enjoy this. What is everyone saying? American LRGs aren't canon. That is true, Aston. That is very true. They don't exist in this world. It's only Australia. But yes, let's wrap this up. Really excited for this season. There's a lot of cool stuff. And the next podcast we're going to be having, I think it's a bit of a different rotation. I'm not sure exactly who's on. It might be me. It might be Sam. It might be other people. But you'll be seeing these beautiful faces. Say again, sorry?
Me, Sam, and Ritty next week.
Yes, there we go. What a fucking amazing lineup. We'll be having some memes coming through. We'll have Jordo's count, and we're going to be going through everything. The podcast is in 2 weeks from today. Is that correct? If I'm not mistaken, Jordo?
That's a good question. I forgot to look at that.
Pretty confident it's the week before. It's the Monday before the season. So I'm pretty confident that's in 2 weeks' time on Monday. Mark can probably correct me if I'm wrong. But if not, you'll see it via the post on Canberra Survivor. Dan is very on top of it. They're very proud of the season, and we're super excited to be privileged to be asked to be a part of this. Feel free to leave any comments. We can answer them next time on the pod. Super excited to get this started. Thank you, Deli, and thank you, Jordo, for coming out tonight. And we'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.